Want to teach your bird how to fly to you? We call it recall in the training business. Let's find out all about it in this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Parrot Teacher. I'm David and we are doing the next part of my core skills training video series. If you haven't watched the others, there's a playlist for it. They're all very useful, especially if you are a new parrot owner. In this video, we are looking at recall, which basically means getting your bird to fly to you. It's a really useful skill and it's not one that's too difficult to train as long as you've got your fundamentals there. If you've done your targeting, got your step up, then recalling is going to be a natural progression from those. It is arguably quite an essential skill because obviously if you are further away from your bird, you need them to come to you in an emergency situation, or you want them to be able to fly to you if there's a concern that they have or they're a little bit worried, then it's going to be very useful. And again, it's in this core skills series for a reason, because it is one of those essential things that I feel every parrot owner should know. Now with recalling, as I mentioned, it's just getting your bird to fly to you when you cue them. And when I say cue, you're just giving them a prompt to ask them to do something. When we're doing training, we want our birds to be asked rather than forced to do things. The more consent-based it is, the more reinforcement, which is reward, they get at the end of the thing that you ask them to do, the more likely you're going to see more of it in the future. It's really important that it's always consent-based and they're getting something higher value, because who wants to work for free? I know I don't. Now with your recall training, the first thing you want to do to train it formally, because your bird may fly to you normally, is to get them to come to your hand in the same way you do a step up. So have your hand presented consistently, but do it from a bit further away. Pick a training location and see if you can encourage your bird to hop to your hand. Now you may be thinking, oh, why am I not getting to fly to me? You can maybe take this a bit faster or slower depending on your parrot, their fitness levels, their training, their confidence, etc. But even if they are very confident, sometimes it does help to train it from square one, because it does make it more consistent and it makes it a much better trained behaviour. So they hop, you've got your hopping and they're doing it consistently and getting their rewards, great. Then you increase the distance. And now this is an experience we had with baby Olive, because Olive came to us when she was clipped. She had very little flight experience. She was very nervous about flying, and your birds may have that same experience, or they may be just new to you and they may be a bit nervous about you. It comes to this point where you have to get them to do a leap of faith. So you gradually increase the distance. So it's not hop, they actually have to flap their wings and really go for it. And this is where a lot of people get stuck with formal recall training, because it does take a leap of faith from your bird. They're not just hopping on, they have to use their wings, and they're trusting that this is going to be a stable perch. They can't stabilise their beak, they can't do anything about it. They're just hopping straight onto your hand, and it's there for them. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm just jumping across roofs. Although they can fly, but you know what I mean. So at this point, when you can get them doing that leap of faith and you're reinforcing for it, they're like, oh, okay, the perch is there, it's nice and stable, coming to my human's great, I'm getting a reward, why not fly to them? Which leads on to where the recall starts. Then you start gradually increasing that distance, so they have to fly further and further to you. You're making sure you cue them every time with a nice prompt. You're making sure you reward them every time they come to you. And then it becomes a trained behaviour and consistent. Again, we come back to consistency. It really does help. And also repetition. The more they do it, the more they're going to learn it, and the easier it's going to be for them to do. Just like they'll be trained in the wild to go to certain places or do certain things, you're training them this because it's good for you and good for them. And it's just loads of benefits, because flying is natural for them, so why would you not want them to fly? And before you know it, your bird is, instead of just doing minor hops, they're flying across the room to you. They're happy to recall to you whenever you present your hand, because they know they're going to get rewards, and they will come to you even without a treat sometimes. Now, once it's really consistently trained, you can sometimes not reinforce, but the advice from most trainers is to reinforce as much as you can. The jargon for it is called intermittent reinforcement, where it just comes at different times rather than every single time. There's a discussion going on in the training world about what's better, always or sometimes. But as long as you're reinforcing sometimes, it will maintain that behaviour. And if you have some formal training sessions once in a while, that will help maintain your recall too. Now, as you may have seen, I'm going to do a little troubleshooting section now as well, because that tends to help a lot of people I've found in the past. If your bird is struggling with leap of faith, maybe just gradually decrease that distance or go back a step. Just get them hopping for a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes a bit longer for some birds to feel more confident, so don't feel like you failed, don't feel like your bird's a failure either. Just take it a step back and then work on that, then try again. Or cue a couple of easy ones, a couple of hops, then try the leap of faith, because they're like, oh, okay, I'm in the mood for training, I'm going to go straight for that leap of faith, and just, they don't even think about it. Do things in very small steps, and don't be afraid to go back, to go forward if you have to. That troubleshoots most problems with this. The other problem that people find is the reinforcer is not strong enough, as in the treat's not high value enough, or stuff in the environment's scary. So look around your environment, is there anything that they're scared of flying near? Set them up for the most success you can, and give them the most high value treat you can. And over time, even in the most difficult scenarios, you will build up your bird's fitness, or they'll feel more confident flying to you. After you've done all that, you can do all sorts of things with them. We'll talk about stationing in the next video, but you can get them to do out of sight recall where they're flying around corners to find you. You can get them to do ascent and descent flight, which helps them to build up those muscles and also helps you if you ever consider doing free flying in the future with them. And just generally if they get stuck on top of cupboards or their fitness isn't ideal. Again, these videos are here to help you guys and give you those core skills to have the best relationship with your parrots. Any comments, questions, happy to hear from you, but take care and see you later.